Elementary music teacher friend, you love what you do, but you might feel unappreciated and, in fact, unseen some days. You may even feel like you're on a music teacher island and just want to connect with other music teachers who can relate to both your struggles and wins when it comes to teaching elementary music. I get you and understand completely the feelings you're having. That's why each and every week, the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast will provide you with solo and guest episodes that will help you realize you're not alone in your music teaching journey. Throughout each episode, my goal is for you to be able to walk away with actionable steps and ideas to help you feel like you're ready to take on the new week with whatever challenges may be thrown your way. Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Peresta, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're at home, in your car, in the shower, or wherever else you're listening, grab your cup of coffee or whatever other beverage is nearby and listen in to the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast.
I'm Andrew Marotta, host of the Education, Leadership, and Beyond podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you are listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Hey friend, I want to let you know about a free workshop that I am so excited about called How to Design Curriculum for Your Elementary Music Classroom, 5 Easy Ways to Simplify Lesson Planning. This free workshop will happen live at various dates and times throughout the year. So sign up so you'll be notified when the workshop is, and you can go to subscribepage.com/curriculum design workshop or simply click on the link in the show notes. In this workshop, we'll go over starting with the end in mind, knowing your desired results for yourself and students, planning assessment before mapping out the lessons, and having a system in place. When you come to this workshop, I'm going to show you how you can make the ultimate shift from struggling with weekly lesson planning, feeling overwhelmed and exhausted knowing how to plan relevant lessons, to knowing how and what to plan each week by adding systems and a proven framework to your planning. So to sign up, once again, the link is subscribepage.com/curriculum design workshop, and I can't wait to see you there. Hey, and welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to begin the summer series. And what this is in the months of June and July, I will be presenting shorter episodes that are basically my favorite things. So each week this summer, I will be presenting about different podcasts, blogs, books, resources, YouTube channels, social media, and PD that I love. I know I'm missing one, but all the things that I like when it comes to music education, or I may throw some other kind of, podcasts or things like that in the mix as well. So today's episode is about blogs, my favorite music education blogs. Before I begin naming them, I want to say that there are many, 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 many music education blogs out there. I cannot list or name every single one of them because we would literally be here all day. But what I do want to say is please do your own research. And a lot of the ways I've found different blog posts or other resources I'm going to name throughout the summer is by just Googling or looking on Facebook groups or asking or listening to what others are doing or seeing what's being shared and what articles. So a great way to find blogs that you really resonate with is just to kind of research. And blog posts will come up a lot of times by just doing a keyword research in the search bar of Google. So for example, let's say I'm searching for a blog post around classroom management. Look at what comes up, not just on page 1, but look at page 2, 3, 4, and I would suggest going all the way to 5, because that one blog post will a lot of times help you to find other blog posts on that person's blog that you really like as well. So that's my first piece of advice, is to look for yourself at what you resonate with. And then I'm going to share some of my favorites that have really stood out to me over the years that I really think are great. And a lot of these bloggers also have podcasts, which I will mention in next week's episode. So first, I cannot obviously share an episode about blog posts without mentioning mine. I Obviously, this is a podcast, and occasionally I'll say, "Hey, there's a blog post that goes along with this podcast." And by the way, each of these do have a blog post that goes along with the podcast. And the reason I have both, and my blog is literally just at thedomesticmusician.com, and a lot of times it accompanies the podcast, and sometimes there's some blog posts on there that are different. I started with just a blog. My business started 7 years ago, and it was just a blog for the first couple years, and then I started podcasting. So I love sharing my thoughts through written word. I also have a book, but I also love sharing my voice on the podcast because I think that both are needed. When I have polled different music educators before, and I love to ask your opinion, obviously. And if you're listening to this, you're a podcast listener, but there are several music teachers who are not podcast listeners. They would rather watch a YouTube video or they would rather read a blog post. So I love providing different avenues and ways for music teachers to consume what you're needing and consume value. And that's why I provide multiple avenues. So my blog post is The Domestic Musician. And on there, I do have blog posts on there about other subject areas like piano, or there's some blogs about motherhood or personal life. But when you go to the blog, I have curated just what pops up for you is the music education stuff. So all of these links, by the way, that I'm going to be sharing will be in the show notes as well. The next blog I want to mention is David Rao, who is amazing. And yes, he does have a podcast. We'll talk about it the next week. But if you just go to makemomentsmatter.org, you will see his blog there as well as other things. But he is just an amazing, first of all, music educator. He has been on this podcast before, and I love reading his different posts. And he just does a great job of writing and sharing about music education. He talks a lot about what works in his classroom. He shares a lot of just his opinion, and really easy to understand, and easy to understand language that is easy for you to apply what he is sharing with you into your classroom. Sorry, I got tripped up on my words there. He also what I love about his blog is this is definitely a personal opinion thing. I don't have this on mine, but maybe I should. But if you go to his blog on the right-hand column, if you're on your PC, there is it says quick categories, and he has categorized everything down by grade level and different teaching topics and different ideas to use in your music room, holidays, and all of those things. So that is one thing I really like about him. So he is really, really great. He has been around for a while. He is just an amazing music educator. So I would highly suggest checking out his blog. By the way, when you are with any blog, most of the time, there is a search bar on blogs. So if you don't have time to scroll, I have this on mine as well because I understand scrolling forever is hard. So I would suggest utilizing that search bar. Look for the search bar, type in what you're looking for. I used classroom management as an example earlier. So if you type in classroom management on David's blog, but any blog I'm going to mention, you will be able to find what you're looking for in a quicker way. And then you can always bookmark that blog and definitely go back another time. I have that on my computer on the folders at the very top, the bookmarks. I have what I'm naming today. I have blogs there. I have podcasts there and all the other things. So I would, if you find a blog you really like or blog post, I would have a bookmark folder just for blogs and just save it there so you can easily go back to it when you want to. The next one I want to mention is the Music Ed Blogs community. Now, this is one I love being a part of, but this is a great way to find a lot of music ed blogs that you really like. So it literally is just musicedblogs.com. And on here, there are several music education blog posts. And when you click on the little circles there, you'll see what I'm talking about. When you get to the homepage, you will be able to open up that particular person's blog and be able to search there or scroll through and see which blogs that you like. So, there's a couple here that I really, really love. Liz Kuchki and I have gotten to know each other. She's Mrs. Cookie's Music Room. She has an amazing blog, and she really, I don't think she would mind me sharing this, but I got to coach her on kind of growing her business. Well, anyways, her blog, she really loves helping out with upper elementary ideas. She talks a lot about sub plans, which is something a lot of music teachers have a lot of questions around. And she loves to share content, all kinds of music ed content. But I love her sub plan things that she shares because there's a lot of questions around that. She also shares a lot about accessibility and things like that. But I love reading her stuff because I think it is really, really good. Another one that you'll find on there who is a personal friend of mine as well is Steve Giddings. So Steve's Music Room is what his blog is called. stevesmusicroom.wordpress.com is the link. And he is a great, I love Steve because he is an outside of the box thinker. And I think that's why he and I click so well. He shares opinions that, maybe are, I wouldn't say controversial, but he just thinks outside of the box and he shares so many great ideas that work in his classroom. He is a great teacher and I would highly suggest his blog as well. Another one I do really like is the Yellow Brick Road. That is yellowbrickroadblog.com. And when you go there, you will see the different blog posts there. She shares a lot of different activities and lesson ideas that you can use in your music room. Particularly, she even breaks it down by different songs. That is really fun. And so the blogger of this blog is Jennifer Hibbard, and she is an amazing educator. And like I said, I really like her style because she breaks down her blog posts more in the style of songs and lessons that are easy and actionable for you to implement even as soon as tomorrow. So I would suggest that one. The next one I want to recommend is Victoria Bowler. So victoriabowler.com/blog. And she has blog posts that I am just so impressed with because they are very, very comprehensive and extensive. And she puts a lot into her blog post that are very, very detailed, where you are getting things that are arranged and outlined in a way that you would find maybe in a book or even in a paid workshop, or it's just very extensive and very lays out, do this, do this, do this, do this, and she gives you lessons. It looks like full extensive lesson plans that are outlined in a way that I'm just very impressed with her work, with a lot of what Victoria does. But her blog is amazing. The next one I want to recommend is Becca's Music Room. Becca is amazing. And I got to know her or about her at the some of workshops we've presented at together. And she talks a lot about upper elementary, which I think is great and very needed, but along with a lot of other ones. But some of the blog posts that I've really loved the most is when she's talked about upper elementary and she presents some ideas that are, maybe you've heard about them before, but they're done in a different way. Becca also has talked before about center. So if you are looking for center ideas, you will find that on her blog, as well as a lot of different lesson ideas she shares there too. So that one is beccasmusicroom.com. The next one is Mrs. Stouffer's Music Room. So it's Mrs. Stouffer's Music Room. That's STOUFFERS, musicroom.com. And this is with Melissa Stouffer. And she's also been on my podcast, and she shares just some great ideas about pretty much everything, honestly. I've really enjoyed reading her blog post about music games she likes to use, different resources she teaches with, movement activities. She actually has books or blogs about books, blog posts about books. And so a lot of different ideas. And she is just a great music educator, very Kadai focused, and will learn a lot from her if you go to her blog. I would say the queen of blogging is Aileen, Aileen Miracle. And she has her blog is probably one of the originals, let's be honest, in music education. And so I would highly suggest going to her blog because she has been blogging, first of all, for a very long time. And so she has a lot of content on there, and she honestly is blogged about pretty much anything and everything you could think of. And remember, we talked about utilizing that search bar. But she also on the right-hand side has, as do a lot of the bloggers that I mentioned today, has topics. And when you can, since hers has been around for a long time, you can curate what you're looking for. So some of the ideas there I see right now are popular post, assessment. Aileen talks a lot about assessment. She talks about children's literature, folk dancing, Kadai in general, and so much more. So I would highly suggest her blog. If you literally just search for music education blogs, hers usually comes up in the very first top of the list of any of the lists you might see. I have 3 more to mention. F Flat Books has a blog. So if you just go to fflatbooks.com, you will see a blog there. Now, this is the site that people know about for music education ebooks, but I don't know if you knew F Flat Books also has a blog. And what I love about their blog is it is curated where they're not writing. The F-Flat team, which I'm actually a part of, I'm the Learn Director at F-Flat Books, but they're not writing all the blog posts, or we're not writing all the blog posts ourselves. There are music educators who are publishing blog posts, I wouldn't say weekly, but periodically, where they are, so the blog post they just did, the blog series is More Than a Music Teacher. There is blog post around reflections on cultivating a daily creative practice, the value of a value statement. I'm just reading some of the current ones. There are 7 tips for surviving December. There is student-centered repertoire. So there are blog posts around different topics, different grade levels, different subject areas, and they have a search bar there as well. So I would highly suggest looking at the F-Flat Books blog. 2 more. The second to last one is Beth's blog. I love Beth's Music Room. So hers is bethsmusicclassroom.com/blog. And her stuff is incredible. She has so many blog posts that just are very easy to read, but you get so many ideas from her stuff. So some of the ones I'm looking at are cumulative songs for the music room. She has Earth Day ideas, music activities for female composers, parachute music activities. So a lot of different holiday activities or ways to incorporate different concepts into the music classroom. Like there's one called meter and time signatures. So I would highly suggest Beth's Music Room's blog. And the last, but certainly not least, is Organized Chaos blog. This is with the amazing Elizabeth Caldwell. So Caldwell, organizedchaos.blogspot.com. And she is just amazing. She's actually come and talked to me in our music education community before, in my membership site. And she has so many great blog posts about different themes, different lessons. She actually has blog posts about using pop songs, which we've gotten a lot of questions about, right? And she has also been a blogger for a very long time. So she has a ton of different blog posts ready to read. And she also, one thing I love about her as well, is she also has blog posts about parenting and lifestyle. So juggling being a parent and your home life with your music teaching life as well. So I would love to hear from you about your favorite music education blogs. You can definitely email me at jessica@thedomesticmusician.com, or look at the blog post that goes along with this episode and leave a comment on that. Or tell me on social media and tag me on Instagram at Jessica Presta about your favorite blogs, and make sure to tag them if they're on Instagram in the comments, or in your stories as well. Have a great day, and I will see you next week. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening into the Elementary Music Teacher podcast. There is an exclusive Facebook group just for listeners of this podcast and any elementary music teacher, called the Elementary Music Teacher Community Facebook group. Come on over and join us there, where we have conversations around the podcast episodes and encourage each other each and every week. And also head to my website, thedomesticmusician.com. I have some free resources there that you can download to help you gain traction in your classroom today today, as well as the blog and the membership site and all kinds of other goodies to help you keep going in your music teaching journey. I cannot wait to keep connecting with you and encouraging you and spurring you on in your journey of teaching elementary music. Hang in there, have an amazing week, and I will see you soon.